Hello, my name is Maxim, and today I want to talk about arrays in the Golang. Let's start by defining array and let's understand what array is. So array is the list of the elements, and elements should be one type. How you can create the arrays? For example, let's create the array students, which will contain the list of the students. So we may have multiple variables such as student1 equal to John. We may have I need we may have student2, which will be equal to some other, right, sorry, didn't copy it. Yeah, this can be student2, which will be equal to Lucy. And we can create multiple of that. Or we can define array students, and how we define the array. In the square brackets, we define how many elements will be in our array. So let's take 3 for example. Next, we need to define what type. I'm going to use the not the integer, but it will be the string. And in curly braces, I will specify those values. So I can copy Johnny from here. I can copy Lucy from here. And now we have the array of the students. And I can add some third element, for example, Alex. Now what I can do, I can print this array, print line, and students. Let's run now. Go, run main go. And list of the students printed. Like right now, I defined here 3, and I also defined 3 elements. I'm kind of duplicating the amount of values. So what I can do, I can get rid of this 3, and I can specify here 3 dots. And also I can check the length of the array, running function len and students. So now we should see the length of this array, and it should be 3 because Golang automatically identified that we have 3 elements, so we need to create with 3 elements. Also, I can define the empty array, but in this case 3 dots won't work, so let's try. And as you may see, array with 0 elements was created, and now I can try to add some element here like students with index 1, index 0, because indexation starting from the 0, so index 0 which means the first element in the array, and I can try to add here John. And when I run this, I've got the error that index 0 out of bounds. So if I want to be able to add, I need to specify directly. I can specify one element. So here I'm defining the array which will contain just one element, and here I'm adding this one element. And now I got John and I got 1. I can define here 5, for example, and I can run. And as you may see, it's contained John, and here is a lot of empty spaces. This is because when you not specifying the element, it will use the 0 value for concrete type, and for the string this is the empty string. So if I'll change this to the integer, of course this won't work because this time is integer, but I can type here 1, and I can run the code, and you may see that I have first element equal to 0, to the 1, and rest element is equal to the 0. And I can change the value of any of those. I can add 99. It needs to be 2. And now I got 1, 0, 99. So this is the what can I do. And let's try now to create another variable. Let's call it b, which will be equal to the students. And I can also print the same for the b. I don't need this time length, I can just print the b. And now both of them contain empty array. But what happens if I will keep students unchanged, but I would define some element for b? I can run b equal to the 1, to the 99, and I can run the code. As you may see, the first array keep unchanged with the 0, but this array b was changed, and now I have second element equal to the 99. Because when I'm assigning this array to another variable, it's copy the array. So right now I have the two arrays which like reference different place in the memory. That's why when I'm changing the one, other keep unchanged. But also there is the way how I can achieve like just reassign. So I can add here this ampersand. We will talk later about that, but once I added this and run the code, as you may see, both arrays were changed because now both of those variables are referenced the same point in memory. But to be honest, array is not, I would say, widely used in the Golang. There is another data structure which is very similar to the array, but it's called the slice. What's the difference? In array here in the square brackets, I'm specifying the amount of elements, but I'm not specifying those in the slice. And I can run 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can print line students. And it's printed 1, 3, 4. And I can add element like 4. You see we have like just 3 elements, but I can add element 4. I can add element 5. And let me print. And new elements is not added. But I can call something like append. So let me show you how to do it. So I can do append. I need to specify here the students because this is what I'm going to add. And next I need to specify what do I want to add. I can add here like 22. And I can repeat the same. I can add here 33, but I need to remove here creation new variable. And now, once I run it, I got all elements added. And let's try to print. I will comment those lines for now. And let's try to print length of the slice. And there is another important attribute. This is the capacity. So I can print cap. As you may see, both of them right now 3. And let me start uncommenting those lines. So once I added new element to the slice, length become 4, but capacity becomes 6. This is capacity, it's a reference to underlying array, which is used by slice. So that means that we have array with 6 element, which is used by this slice. So if I will add here 2 more elements, that means something 33, 44, right? Now 6 and 6, let's add 1 more. And run the code. You see, this time it was doubled again. Golang is trying to allocate those arrays in such way that we do not use too much space, but also we do not copy the data all of the time. Because if I will delete this, we have 6 and 6. Once I add this additional append, 6 is not enough, so Golang is creating another array of 12 elements and copy all of these elements to this new array. So that's why it's do not increment this by 1 as we have with the length, because copying and creating new array is kind of consume the resources. So that's why Golang handled that in such way that we won't need to allocate this new array each time. Also, I can add array to the array, slice to the slice. So let me do something like students2 with type of the integer, and I have here 5, 6, 7. And I can use the same append function to append both of those slices. I can do append, But I cannot simply specify students too. You see, I got immediately error. And once I run the code, I need to get rid of this. Yeah. And once I run the code, it said that cannot use students2 as type integer to in argument to append. This is because append accept many arguments, but it should be the same type of our array. So what I need to do, I need to unpack this array. How can I do it? By adding 3 dots. Once I add 3 dots and arrays were added. Let me print those. I can print the students. And as you may see, both array appended. Also, I can append multiple elements in this function. So here I'm specifying the array, but also I can add a bunch of numbers, something like this. And this will also would work. If I will, let me get rid of this. If I will assign, I will create in the same way as this array. I'm going to create b equal to the students, and for b, I'm going to change the value, first value in the array to 32. And now let me print b and let me print the students. And this time result will be different from what we saw with the arrays. Once I run it, you see that value was changed in both of the slices. For slices, you don't need to add here this symbol to point the memory location. So this is like the difference you need to be aware when working with those data types. And finally, I want to show you how to create slice from the slice. So I have, let me add a few elements here. And for example, I need to create another slice, which will contain middle elements from this array, from this slice, I'm sorry. Students, let me call it student slice. And here I can reference the students, and in square brackets, I need to specify what elements do I want to include in student size. So if I will left it as it is without anything and print line student slice, let's see, like it has the all elements inside of the array. For example, if I want to restrict like from which element I'm going to start, I can specify here something like 2, and when I run, my array started with slice started with 4, 5, 6. So that means that we skipped those 2 first elements and we just have it till the end. And also I can specify here something like 5 to limit how much elements do I want. And 5 is the bad example. Let me do something like 4. Yeah, and you see now it shows like just 4 and 5. Just 2 elements were included. This one was ignored. Also, there is one more useful function which can be used to create the slices. So, like in all of the previous example, when I defined the slices, I did it in this way. This is how I'm creating the slice, and let me print for this slice length and capacity. And the same for the capacity. Let's see what value we will have. 0, 0. But what if we know that our array slice should contain like 10 elements? Like later they will be added. So if we'll create it like that, then we will start to append one element by each other. We will increment the length, we will increment the capacity, data will be copied from one array to the another. What can we do? We can specify here something like make. And inside of the make, I need to specify a few arguments. So first argument will be the type. And my type here will be the integer. Next, I need to specify the size of the array. So let's imagine I want to have 5 elements. So as you may see, once I started, I immediately have the array slice with 5 element, length of the 5 and capacity of the 5. But what if I need like to contain 5 element, length to be 5, but I know then in future it will be added 100 elements. I can specify also another argument here like as 100, and I can run the code, and you see here that right now length of the slice is 5, but capacity is 100. And now if I'm going to append some new elements to this slice, capacity will stay untouched. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss any new video. Have a nice day.